So it seems like things are going through a few big changes. And the truth is, CIG is not the only ones making a few big changes, as you may have seen. So this is kind of something that I've been working on the side, building a new PC, and it's together and mostly functional. Still a few odds and ends that need to be pulled off of the old PC, but yeah, 4K. What a difference in a lot of things. So that has been the side project that has kept me very, very busy this week. And finally, everything came in, was delivered and done. And right now, it's just about testing, getting things dialed in, making sure the cooling works. And that's kind of the video that you're seeing now. Is I was just it's the first time I've ever built a liquid cooled anything. So yeah, I'm a little bit not comfortable to say the least, and it's been an interesting journey. Still got a few little things to fix, but apart from that, yeah, brand new PC, 4K gaming, first time ever I've done this, so hopefully the video footage turns out well. It's been interesting, it's been fun, but I'm not the only one, as I said, going through some changes. CIG apparently is going through some changes as well in how they deliver and when they deliver content, the specifics of which, from an internal perspective, have been delivered. They're going to be kind of staggering teams. The staggered development is what they called the pillar talks. So one team is working on, say, 3.7, and then when they're done that, they go to 3.9, and then another team is working on 3.8, and after that, they go to 3.10. That sort of thing. So hopefully that's going to mesh together and create a smoother final product. But it also seems like CIG may be going for something that we've talked about multiple times over the years, which is possibly entering into an era when it's not so much about delivering new features as stabilizing the features that we have. And, you know, I've said this before. If you could get everything that we currently have in-game working and working well, that's a pretty good start. That's a pretty good game to begin with. That's not a finished product. That is not, what was promised, of course. But I think that would get us into a position where the game showcases a lot better and a much more stable environment to introduce new things into. Possibly, game development is not my forte. I'm just, an asshole with a microphone. But, possibly, that's the brighter side of things. But I think it's kind of more than evident that there has been a bit of a shakeup at CIG. Now, of course, CIG did go into some depth this week talking about their future plans for the Nautilus. And, one of the things that they outlined right in the beginning was that whereas most of the combat in Star Citizen right now is something that's, right up in your face, meaning you go right at them, you shoot them, that sort of thing, the mine layer represents a different style of combat. It represents something that isn't quite so easy and isn't quite so evident. It's rather something that requires preparation, requires planning, that sort of sophistication. And I like that idea. I like the idea of combat that isn't just, something like in there, go kill all the red outlines, protect the green outlines, that sort of thing. Something that requires forethought and planning. And that's something that I really like about this ship. There are things that I don't like. There are larger questions about this ship that I don't really like, but that is one of the aspects of the ship that I like. And one of the things that they showed in the development of this, or in the development video, was the interiors of the ship. So it looks like, this is something that is going to be showing up sooner rather than later. And, for the people out there who are going to pick this thing up, I would say that that's probably pretty good news. Now, for people who own other things, probably not so much. So, for the Nautilus owners, this could bode very well, but also not so much, because once again, we're talking about a shakeup to the the production pipeline. Chances are at CitizenCon, we're going to see a pretty massive shakeup, and a lot of the things that we see on the production pipeline or on the roadmap are going to be shifted around as things kind of get reorganized. So while a ship may arrive, it may arrive without its biggest component being the mines. Gameplay could potentially be delayed for a very long time, and then it would enter into the ranks of other more or less dead ships like the Reclaimer and the Herald. And that wouldn't be all that great for the ship owner. Sure, it's got cargo, but then what do you get? You get kind of an undergunned Hammerhead until it can really fulfill its main role, which at this point, is a question mark. There's a lot of big question marks with this idea that they're going to be shifting the production pipeline. Now, one of the other things that they showed us, one of the things that is on track for 3.7 is, of course, the brand new Vanguards, showing us the Sentinel and the Harbinger, and the two Vanguards that we already have being the Warden and the Hoplite. Hoplite, of course, is the green one. The tan one, I'm assuming, is the Harbinger, and the blue and yellow is the Sentinel. So that seems to be on track for 3.7. Sadly, the Cutlass Red does not appear to be on track at all for 3.7, at least as of the recording of this video. So that's unfortunate. I guess that we're kind of moving into a phase, and hopefully at CitizenCon, a presentation where we're going to get a lot more certainty, but we are moving into a bit of an uncertain phase leading into CitizenCon, which could make it probably a little bit more interesting than they would ideally like it to be. So it's going to be interesting. The next little while is going to be interesting. Of course, we are moving into that usual drought period that we get every year before the big Star Citizen presentations roll out. So going to be a lot of speculation, a lot of questions being asked, but it seems like we may be coming to a crossroads for CIG where they're making a choice, and perhaps new features are going to slow down, but the existing features are going to get better. It's going to be interesting to see how that plays out, because I think a lot of people would agree that if Star Citizen itself was a lot more stable, they'd probably play it more and enjoy it more. But, there's always that desire, that need to see new things, to see the bright and shiny new things, and the old thing sometimes is a little bit boring. But maybe we'll go into that in a little bit more depth next week. But for right now, that's the show for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thanks for watching. This thing's gonna take forever to render.
Thank you for watching. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest in Star Citizen and Squadron 42's development, please follow us on our social media channels. See you soon.